What's happening right now in Iran was predicted about 7 years ago by the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Let me roll the tape.
War in the Middle East is pulled by you using your surrogates at the insistence of Israel. Then the war will trigger another kind of war which will bring China, Russia, all of the nations into a war. And it bothers me to say this to you, Mr. President, but the war will end America as you know it. These sanctions are the predicate for a new war, a war in the Middle East that would be a trigger to the greatest war that has ever been, the war of Armageddon spoken of in the Bible.
The Iranians. You don't see them starting no war with nobody.
That's correct.
Yes, Mr. Trump. In the history of Iran, show me where they attacked some other nation trying to take their wealth as you do, as America does. Show it to me. See, when you know the truth, see, can't nobody punk you unless you just want to be a punk. America's about to go to war. And when she goes to war, she wants black and brown bodies. Now you're useful. They don't give a doggone about how black lives matter until they want to use black lives to accomplish their wicked ends. They're trying to provoke Iran. I would like to say to the President, it would not be a wise move for you, because you're already $23 trillion in debt, and you don't have any money to prosecute a war. So if you don't have the money to prosecute a war, the Federal Reserve is printing money every day. So you will have to come to the Federal Reserve to borrow money that you don't have to prosecute a war in a time when any little thing could cause the dollar to fall and the stocks to fall.
What's up, beautiful people? I hope you're doing fine wherever you're tuning in from. Now, welcome to this video. Before we get any further into the video, I'd just like to make this clear. If at all you've clicked on this video, then I bet that you are a Minister Louis Farrakhan follower. And if at all you know him, you know very well that he has been a champion of peace, and he has been championing for America to stop meddling in other countries' business. Not just Iran, not just Venezuela, not just Iraq, not just Pakistan, all those countries that you can think of, all the countries that America has been meddling in their business. Because there is totally no way that America, behind Donald Trump, can just position itself as a moral police globally and then go around attacking each and every country. So I have put together a video for you, a video that I want us to watch together. Let's get to watch the video, and then thereafter we'll come back here and break it all down. Watch it to the end, and as you watch this video, please let me know what your thoughts are concerning all these in the comment section. As usual, like the video, share the video to a fellow person who's interested in such kind of videos, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel.
I respectfully say to the President, I cannot back you if you're going to send American soldiers to war to die because you want that man out of power and you're meddling in the affairs of his country. I don't think no young soldier should go. Just say hell no. I won't go. And adopt the Muslim position. We do not believe that we who declared ourselves to be righteous Muslim should be engaged in wars which take the lives of human beings, especially when we have nothing to gain from it. Unless you give us the necessary territory wherein we'll have something to fight for. But to go and spend our lives so you can use their oil and ruin their country? You got over the banking system. You are telling the banks the man got gold in England. He's asking for them to send some of his gold back so that he can turn that gold to feed his people. President sent word, you don't give him nothing. See, you're gangsters. Our president is making moves as a king. The former president, Barack Obama, and his Secretary of State, John Kerry, came up with an agreement with Iran and 5 of the strong members of the Security Council, the permanent members, that would keep Iran from developing an atomic bomb or weapon. Iran never said that's what they wanted. But when you're guilty of evil and you see they have the technical knowledge to go to get a bomb, your fear of their having it causes you to say and do things. So this agreement was to limit and make it impossible for Iran to develop a nuclear weapon. Five plus one signed that agreement. China, Germany, France, England, America. But the king said, I don't like that. So he didn't feel bound to anything that his predecessor worked out. So he said, scrap it. And walked out on it. Without even considering what his predecessor had done with the cooperation of the 5 permanent members of the Security Council of the United Nations. He didn't like it. They talked about the money that they gave to Iran. They didn't give Iran no money. They had over $150 billion of Iran's money that they were holding And part of the agreement was you'd give them back some of their money. Not all of it. And the demon was upset because he had to give back something that he felt he should keep. See, these are thugs. Now, we just went to Iran maybe 6 to 8 months ago. The minister spoke to the supreme leader, spoke to some of the highest religious authorities in Iran. Iran has 80 to 90 million people in love with the Mahdi, who are willing at any moment's notice to give their lives as a sacrifice for El Mahdi. So I went to Iran with a team. Brother Leonard, Brother Akbar, my son Mustafa, the Imam Sultan Rahman Muhammad, and my security people. It wasn't about making no accommodation with Iran. While I was on the airplane going to Iran, I was saying my prayers in the little cubby hole in the first class section. And I started to weep, because in the middle of my prayer and my crying, because I wanted to be sure that that's what Allah wanted me to do, and I was assured that I was in the right place at the right time. I want you to listen.
Yes, sir.
What was my instruction? Since they love the Mahdi, I came there to introduce them to the man that they hope for. And I was reminded of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sending emissaries to Persia, to Rome, to Egypt, announcing himself as a messenger of God and warning them of the calamities or the wars that would happen to them.
Yes, sir.
I never went there saying nothing about me being no messenger. I just went there delivering a message. Sometimes the weight of the message that you deliver tells the people that receive it who you are. Imam Sultan is here. When we got to Iran, I sent for him. I said, give me the knowledge of the history of the Prophet, peace be upon him, when he sent a message to the Khosrows of Persia, the Caesar of Rome, the leader of Egypt and Ethiopia. When he gave me a synopsis of it, well, I thought you knew. Well, a man does know. But I want to be sure I didn't have my books there. I had a message to deliver. It had nothing to do with the books, but I wanted to see where my feet were going. So everybody that went with me, you know that I met with the generals, the supreme leader, the religious thinkers, and I told them that El Mahdi had visited with us. Wait now. If they had accepted that, 80 million of them would be behind us. I mean, not that we need 80 million people behind us. We have Allah and His Mahdi behind us. Now, America is provoking Iran. Iran has some technology that shot down an unmanned drone. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that it was 20-some miles in outer space over territorial waters belonging to Iran, and Iran shot it down. I mean, when you shoot down something that's far out, your technology must be pretty heavy. And then Iran told them you had another plane there too with people on it. We could have shot that down as well. Now, the world is not afraid of America. But our president wants the world to fear him. So coming out of the White House, they said that if Iran purifies some of that uranium, Israel would attack Iran and America would back Israel. This is from the senator from South Carolina. What's that got to do with your subject? America's about to go to war. And when she goes to war, she wants black and brown bodies. Now you're useful. They don't give a doggone about how black lives matter until they want to use black lives to accomplish their wicked ends. They're trying to provoke Iran. I would like to say to the President, Mr. President, it would not be a wise move for you, because you're already $23 trillion in debt, and you don't have any money to prosecute a war. So if you don't have the money to prosecute a war, the Federal Reserve is printing money every day. So you will have to come to the Federal Reserve to borrow money that you don't have to prosecute a war in a time when any little thing could cause the dollar to fall and the stocks to fall.
Well, welcome back to the video once again. I am really glad that you watched it and made it to this other end of the video. Thank you so much. Now, as at the time of recording this video, I know very well that it's no longer news that Iran and some country that I won't be mentioning are having some back and forth. And in between this back and forth, America is in between. They are somewhere in between, kind of escalating the whole thing. They have chosen to give or to offer this country that I'm not mentioning blind support. They have offered this country relentless support, and they are not questioning or assessing the decisions that this country which they are supporting is making. Whatever this country decides to attack, they simply back. They simply back the country. You know, what Donald Trump and his regime are doing right now is what I usually term as offering blind support. They are offering this country blind support, and they do not take time to assess what can be the consequences of their actions. And remember, each and every action has a consequence. For example, the consequences of war. In this case, these are just a few leaders who have failed to agree. But they failed to agree based on reasons that I would say that there are reasons that are not being disclosed to the public. Let nobody lie to you that it's about power, it's about probably peacemaking, or it's about even weapon development. That's not the case. These are reasons that are hidden to the public or to the average citizen. But there is totally no way that reasons that are not known to the average citizen are reasons that end up costing these average citizens' lives. Whenever two powerful forces collide, or whenever two powerful leaders, or even more, whenever powerful leaders fight, it's not them who get hurt. I'm talking about the mothers. I'm talking about, or I'm advocating for women who live in these various countries. I'm talking about children who lose their parents and end up suffering just because of a war. At the end of the day, you'll realize that this war ends up benefiting Mr. Donald Trump and not benefiting the children of Iranians. It ends up benefiting these powerful leaders that are behind these missiles and are behind this whole war that's going on. At the end of the day, it'll end up benefiting them and end up destroying the lives of thousands of average citizens. This is something that Minister Louis Farrakhan has constantly been talking has been constantly addressing for a very long time. And other than that, this same American government, as Mr. Louis Farrakhan questions, this same American government that is spending billions of taxpayers' money in these kind of wars and this kind of military stance is the same government that claims it has no money to kind of eradicate poverty or even to pay black people their reparations. This is the same government that is underfunding black institutions. This is the same government that is underfunding black dominant institutions and black dominant schools, in this case black dominant hospitals or hospitals in regions that are black dominant, claiming that that is the whole budget that they have, or claiming that they do not have enough funds. So looking at all these and realizing the irony that is there, you just know that all these things that are happening, all these ills and crimes that are happening, are crimes that are just rooted in hate. They're just rooted in the dislike towards a certain demographic of people, and by the term or the phrase towards a certain demographic of people, I mean anybody who's not white. Not just black people. So many Iranians have lost their lives and this back and forth. Why? Innocent women, innocent children, innocent men and boys who were not even part of these. Whether or not it's the military who have been probably unalived, it still affects people. Think about the kid of that military personnel who's been unalived for a war that could have been avoided. Think about their wife. Think about their mothers. These are real people. Whenever you hear that 1,000 people have been unalived, stop looking at these 1,000 as a figure with 1 and 3 zeros. These are real people like you and I. So whenever we are kind of analyzing such kind of situations, let us not analyze these figures just as figures. These are real people, average citizens, real citizens like you and I. These are people who deserved to live. I don't think it is worth the risk, and that's why Minister Louis Farrakhan keeps on encouraging black people not to participate or not to be involved serving in such kind of conflict, serving a regime that will forget you in case you get injured or you get unalived. He's advising black people not to enroll in the military or not to accept getting deployed to fight against an enemy that is not a real enemy in the first place. This kind of weaponization of the military in America, it's something that is not new. It's something that has been going on for quite some time, and it needs to stop. But anyway, all these are just my thoughts. Please let me know what your thoughts are concerning these in the comment section. As usual, I am your presenter and your host, Kachina. So without wasting any time, I'd like to end this video at this point. As usual, like the video, share the video, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel.